This is ZNS Total Sports.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Kelsey Johnson. Welcome to Sports Monday. The Bahamas was second last year, and how the old popular saying goes, 3 times the charm. This phrase is also popular for the Carifta swim team that is going after a three-peat in history. The 36-member team is looking forward to ink their names further into the history book when the championship starts tomorrow. Watching from poolside during the light workout session in Martinique today was our Chris Sanders, a former Carifta swimmer himself.
Clearly, Team Bahamas kind of relax as they get ready to take in the first day of action here at the Carifta Swimming Championships in Martinique. Now, the team had an easy workout this morning, and most of them seem ready to take on the challenge of going after a three-peat. The team focused on starts, turns, and some sprint work. They put in around 1,500 meters in the pool as well and seemed very jovial. The rookies have already been hazed per tradition. You can always tell rookies as their heads have been shaved with many intentional gaps. All in good fun though. The team now is getting serious. Many, if not all of the senior athletes have seemingly began to seem more focused on swimming as they know what's at stake. That elusive three-peat. Team leader Enin Fernando is swimming every 50 free, 50 fly, 50 breast, and 50 back, along with the 100s and relays. He's going to be a workhorse for the team, but he says he understands because of what's at stake for the country.
The 50s are much harder because you could probably go and cruise at 200 and make it back to finals easier. 50s, you have to be up fast, But for my 50s, all my 50s, most of my 50s, I'm kind of ranked first in all of them, so it shouldn't be too hard to make it back to finals. The 100s are a little bit harder because they're more work, but the task, I know the reason that I'm doing it for, so I'm kind of glad that I could just do it for my country.
Team co-captain Jared Fitzgerald has specific expectations heading into competition.
You got to respond well to pressure. You got to put everything back on the team, let them know my expectations for them. They have to step up, even if they have bad races, still have to contribute to the team. A lot of it's just a team effort. It's not all on me. Competition starts tomorrow here in Martinique. The first event off the blocks will be the 800 free for girls. Then they'll hit that very hard 200 breast. The Bahamas has a few competitors in those events, so we'll stay tuned to see what happens there. Remember, ZNS Total Sports will bring you the best and comprehensive coverage from this year's swimming championships. In Martinique, at the CASEM, I'm Chris Saunders, ZNS Total Sports.
Thank you so much, Chris. The Bahamas was second last year at the Carifta Track and Field Championships. This year's squad, inclusive of 56 members, will look to improve on the medal count and place them when competition starts on Friday. The team will leave on Thursday for Grenada.
Last year didn't really come up to my expectations, but I just was glad to be on the team. But this year, I think I should be on a whole nother level, so I'm planning on going and getting a few medals for my Bahama land.
I really wanted to compete and represent my country, went back to gold medal, but God has a plan, everything happens for a reason. When I went over there, I got to see a lot of athletes leave everything on the track, put in hard work, execute, do everything that they were supposed to do, and I was, exposed to that, and I was happy to see that the Bahamian athletes perform well.
From the professional side of the track, the Bahamas finished in a 6-way tie for 19th at the IAAF World Indoor Track and Field Championships. The men's 4x400 meters team placed second in the event in a time of 3 minutes 04.75 seconds. That time is a national record for indoors. That team included Michael Matthew, Alonzo Russell, Chavez Hart, and Christopher Man Brown. The Bahamas was represented by an 11-member squad. All athletes will now focus on the outdoor season. One school dominated the Ellen Coakley Track and Field Invitational. The event wrapped up over the weekend in Georgetown, Exuma. Julian Gibson was there. Here's his report.
Kelsey, in the 800 meters, C.R. Walker, your former school, they did something you couldn't do when you was in school. They simply dominated the 800 meters. Under 16 boys, 800 meters, Levine Joseph came in first.
First of all, I want to thank God for what all He's done for me, and all I had to do is execute my race and do the best I can.
Now let's move to the girls' open 800 meters. Janisha Capron from C.R. Walker, boy, she walked all over the competition.
It was fine, I guess.
At one point you was trailing, you had to come from behind and win.
Yeah, what I do is I save until the last 100 meters, and then I run.
Did you ever thought that you could have catch it?
No, I didn't thought I could have, but I did.
Boys open. 800 meters, Michael Gomez from C.R. Walker. Boy, C.R. Walker cleaned up the 800 meters.
I wasn't really hoping to work so hard for the last 150, but I then came second, so I had to push a little bit harder than my teammate.
Reporting for ZNS Total Sports, I am Julian Gibson.
Thanks so much, Julian. A week into the madness and a number of upsets has taken place, which means a good percentage of the NCAA March Madness tournament brackets are spoiled. Bahamians were in the mix, getting sent home early. Our very own sports and basketball guru, Charles Fisher, had a couple wrong himself and tells us who are in and who will be watching from the sidelines.
Only 2 Bahamians on the men's side and 1 on the ladies are still alive after first week of what was indeed March Madness. Buddy Hield Mania and the Oklahoma Sooners are into the Sweet 16 after the front runner for the Naismith Award torched the Virginia Commonwealth team for 29 in the second half to finish with a game-high 36 in the 85-81 win. Buddy will see a familiar face on the opposite bench in their game Thursday. Tavario Miller and the Texas A&M Aggies, who came from 12 down with 33 seconds left to down pesky Northern Iowa 92-88. Miller, a steal and a rebound in the game. Now Thursday game tips off at 7:30. 2 Bahamians were ousted Sunday, even though they saw no playing times in their first 2 games. Middle Tennessee, after upsetting Michigan State in the first round, fell to Syracuse. Stephen Strawn plays for that team. 75-70 was the final score, while Nathan Bain and Stephen F. Austin's Cinderella season came to an end in a heartbreaker 76-75 to Notre Dame. Shaquille Clear and the Texas Longhorns, for the second year in a row, lost in the first round, this time to Northern Iowa 75-72. On the ladies' side, LaShawn Higgs and the Texas Longhorns played their second-round match at home Monday night against Missouri with a chance to make it to the Sweet 16. Jonquel Jones' college career came to an end with a valiant effort, 20 points, 13 rebounds, and 6 block shots as George Washington lost to Kansas State 56-51. And coach Yolette McPhee-McQuinn and the Jacksonville Dolphins were no match for South Carolina, 77-41 loss. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Charles Fisher.
Thank you so much, Charles. The Brighton Jets are your 2015-2016 Commonwealth American Football League champions. The pennant winners, the Freeport Hunters, were a no-show for the Boilfish Bowl on Saturday. As a result, the Jets won the game, having to score an uncontested touchdown for the records.
Politics happen, and sometimes things don't go the way you want it to go, but the bottom line is when we played the pros the other day, we consider that to be our championship, either which way you look at it. So I'm just happy that the team got to celebrate and they got to have their win.
Well, that's all the time we have for sports. I'm Kelsey Johnson.
This is ZNS Total Sports.